Hello and welcome to the Making It podcast for episode 69. And we are here ready for. Oh, bro, grow up. Seriously, come on. Oh, Dan, welcome back. Another episode, mate. Let's get past the immaturity. It's been a pretty mad week, bro. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. I've had some cool experiences in the past week, which I was really looking forward to, and I actually really enjoyed doing. Finished my UEFA C course face to face. That was really good. That taught me that there's always room to learn. So now I've just got to submit a project by the 12th of June, and then I've completed that. Then went to the races on Friday, straight off the back of my UEFA C. That was really good fun with my house and Scarlett and her housemates. And I mentioned on a podcast recently that my relationship with like Scarlett and her friends and her uni experience has like grown over time, and it was nice to be with her friends and like socializing with them and integrating with them. I felt a lot closer to them after that, which was nice. Um, and then Saturday, celebrated my brother's 18th, which was in April, but it took till May to be able to get the family together. So that was really good. It's always nice to have a family together. And then Sunday, went to the sports ball for Northumbria, which was really exciting. Different experience for me this time, as I wasn't up for an award, but I really enjoyed that. So I've been good. I've had a few good experiences. It's been a nice week. It's been an adventurous week, an exciting one. Things have been going on in my life, and it's been really good. I've got a football presentation night tonight as well. So just some good like end of year moments. Got my dissertation back, got a 68%, which is a high 2-1, which I'm very happy with. Very close to a first, but I'm still happy with that grade. So coming towards the end of my final year of undergrad now. So it's been a special one, and I'm enjoying these special moments. But in terms of special moments, brother, obviously it's your last night in Australia, which is pretty crazy. It's amazing that we managed to catch you in this moment because I wouldn't have been a surprise if you didn't want to do a podcast in this moment. But brother, how are you feeling, my friend?
Good, bro. I'm good, bro. It's been a pretty emotional one today, to be honest. I've had the most insane week ever. It's been nice to wake up this morning actually and not be hungover and fully string a sentence together and stuff. So we've had a lot of fun, lots of goodbyes, and lots of half goodbyes. Lots of I'll see you on Tuesday. I'll come and give you a proper goodbye on Tuesday. And then Tuesday comes along and you're like, whoa, you've actually got to say goodbye. And I was at work today and said goodbye to all my work colleagues, and I just saw the head chef, and it just triggered me. I don't know what it was about Ramel. Shout out Ramel. I love Ramel so much. I guess I've just cried about it. Um, but I think the reason I cried, bro, was because I felt like I was part of a family. Work hasn't been perfect for the last month or so. Hours have been a bit, rubbish and stuff, and there's been a lot of stressful, annoying things that I've moaned about. Um, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to, well, at least I'm working with good people. So at least those 20, 25 hours that I'm getting, I'm with people that I like, and if the situation isn't making you happy, then maybe the people will. And do you know what, bro? That's the story of this trip. The situation wasn't making me happy when I first got here, and then the people made me happy, and someone asked me the other day that the highs and lows of the trip, the highest and the lowest. And I think for the lowest, I kind of said that period after we went to WA, Western Australia, and my relationship with Beck was pretty much completely dead, and we both knew it but didn't do anything about it. So it was a horrible, toxic situation. And then the highest, bro, was getting the new job and seeing my paycheck for the first time and knowing that I had friends now, and then after that, highs and highs and highs and highs. Um, so to think that a year's gone by that quick, bro, to think it's a year since I drank, a pint out of those black Sambas, which have now been thrown away for 6 months. And, since I dressed in that stupid outfit and we all went out on that big night out, I think it's been 11 months since I left home and waved goodbye to my grandma and last sat in the shower and sang a sad song. It's mad. It's crazy. Um, but this is it, bro. This is it. This is just how it goes. Um, I've had the best experience. Don't really have many regrets. I think I've done things my own way, which is usually difficult to start with, and then eventually it works out. Um, and as a result of that, bro, I've made the best friends. I've had the most amazing final week. I've done all these amazing things, and I have made memories that I will look back on for an absolute lifetime. And tonight we went and watched the sunset on the Harbour Bridge for one last time, and emotional stuff, bro. Super emotional stuff. This huge bloody place that I've been living for the last year has just been the most amazing experience. And I'm gutted that it's over, but I can't wait to see my family, man. I
And
can't
it's
wait.
a great thing that you can feel gutted about the fact that you're leaving Australia because, you know, I'm just thinking while you were speaking then about all the episodes we've done while you've been on Australia. And I think the listener and me and anyone who's been and seen those episodes, it's been awesome to see your journey while you've been out there. And I think at that moment where Deck first arrived and you guys had that shaggy little place where you were sharing just after the things that happened with Beck and stuff, and then you both made it move to Sydney, and you had your ups and downs with the sales, and then you got your own place, and work was great, and then the cherry on top of the cake was, living with Georgia and Bella at the end of it. And I think it's been a really cool story to see, and I feel privileged to have seen that journey by being your friend, but also doing this podcast with you. And I think it's such a cool thing that we'll be able to look back on. And you're in that interesting dilemma now of leaving something you now love deeply and coming back to a place which you also love deeply. So, like you said before the podcast, it's I'm leaving this amazing place of Australia where I've got these beautiful friends, relationships now, but I've also got these people back in Nottingham who are so excited to see me again. So I think take your time. And one of my goals I set you this week was just take your time back at home. Have a Guinness at the pub, relax, no pressure on anything. Just ease yourself back into the Nottingham life. It's going to take some time. So just take your time with it, bro. You got that privilege to be able to do. But how does that feel? That feeling of leaving Australia, but the excitement of seeing people you've not seen for so long.
Well, it's very conflicting, bro. Like it's like two opposite forces pulling away at each other. And the example I gave you was someone messaged me on Instagram saying, "I miss you. I'm gonna miss you." Um, and we had a chat about it after, and then someone at home's like, "I've missed you, bro. Come home. Can't wait to see you." And it's like that sadness and the happiness, and it's like, fuck. But I'm just grateful for both. I'm grateful that there's someone that will miss my presence, and there was someone that is looking forward to my presence. That's a real privilege, um, for me to be able to experience that. So the feeling is hard because you are leaving something. But like I said to Georgia, because Georgia's actually moving to the UK she's going to Europe to do some traveling. Then she's going to spend 2 years around Europe, mostly in the UK. And, I said, you are leaving something, but this will always be here. This is home for her. And you're going to something that you've never experienced. Your whole life has been here. Now it's your time to go and experience that. And I realized, bro, that's just the advice people are giving me. And I'm now giving it to someone else. And I think when you go and do something like this, bro, you just have to kind of accept that this is the reality of it. And I think the thing is with Australia is compared to like other countries, you might go and do a year out in France or Germany or Spain or any of these places. The difference is, bro, you're so far away to the point where you can't go back and see your family regularly. And if you're a traveller, the chances are you're not going back and seeing your family for that year. You're not spending that money. That money's going on booze, skydiving, a trip down the coast, like clothes, all these things. Like you're spending it on stuff that you're going to enjoy. I've come back with so many new clothes and random stuff. Like, well, bro, it's my trip. Of course, I'm going to do that. And I need to still get a couple of souvenirs tomorrow. But yeah, I just think, bro, that my opinion on the whole thing is like, I'm super grateful that I've got somewhere good to go back to, good people to go back to, and a place to look forward to living again. And then when I want to come back to Sydney, I've got the same thing. What an amazing privilege that is, bro. And to think that we went out here with nothing. Me and Dad came here with no friends, like, and no real expectation of what to have, and then we've created, or I've created this for myself, like, and people have been so great and lucky. I'm lucky that I've had those people with me. So shout out to everyone that I've met. If you're someone that I've met and you're someone that's spoken to me or supported me or anything, I fucking love you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I know you don't want me to swear too much, but I absolutely love the bones of you. Because, yeah, it's been some tough ones, bro, but it was all worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Yeah, it's been epic, bro. And like we've been saying, it's like weeks and weeks we've been saying, looking forward to that coffee and that catch up, and I can't wait for that moment. And I just remember that moment we had in Newcastle once, where we would have sat in the living room of my second year house, and we were just chatting for about an hour, maybe 2 hours. What was the album we had on? Who's that artist? Was it The
Oh,
Alchemist?
it was 2 Chainz. It was Life is Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, good
yeah,
album.
and that album was just playing. I'm pretty sure the whole album played twice.
Yeah.
But mate, I'm looking forward to that moment, bro. Looking forward to that moment, and it's going to be exciting to see your life back in Nottingham, bro. And it's going to be a great way to reflect on Australia. And I just remember that moment when Matthew McConaughey came out on the Diary of a CEO, and he mentioned his time in Australia and how he was close to going home at one point, and he said, "No, I'm here for the year." And I remember
Sticking
your
out.
point between the sales and getting the bar job. That was your Matthew McConaughey moment. So super proud of you, bro. Super proud of you. Um, Something that happened in my week last week, which I wanted to share on the pod, was when I was sleeping last week. I woke up in the middle of the night to a shock pain in my chest, and I got up and I was like really starting to panic. I was thinking, is that my heart? Is like what's going on? Went really pale, really started to shake, started to tremble, and like I was really starting to panic myself. Something a lot worse than what was happening was going on. I know you've had an experience with this before. Went to the
Mm.
GP the next day. Everything was fine. It probably was just, I don't know, it was just a panic attack. But isn't it so interesting how our minds can create these stories where we actually think something really bad is happening, and then it actually creates our body to have even more of these experiences, which makes you think it's getting worse, when in reality you're actually just fine. And your time out in Australia, there's been a lot of narratives, a lot of times where you could have told yourself, "This is it. I'm giving up. This is done." I think you had very close moments to that. What would you say you've learned from those experiences of when you've been so close to giving up and getting through them? What have you learned from them, and how do you think you're going to take them into your life from now?
Well, bro, I want to say first of all, thank you for sharing with the about your panic attack, because we spoke about it on the phone. And I know that was I think before you had your appointment with the
Yeah,
GP. Um, and it's crazy to think something that you can feel so physically would actually be something that's just in your mind and isn't even going on. People don't actually comprehend they're having a panic attack until someone goes, I think you might be having a panic attack. And then you're like, no, no, no. I've got nothing to worry about. But it's not about that. They can come out of anywhere and you don't control them. If you controlled your panic attacks, well, you'd never have one. It's the whole point. They just come and go. So, yeah, to answer your question on dealing with those kind of moments, bro, honestly, you've just got to stick it out because I don't want to be older and think, what if I had just stuck it out? Would it have just worked out? If you want something to work out, bro, you'll do anything to make it happen, right? Again, I'm very lucky because my mum supported me. She gave me enough money to be able to probably support myself and pay my rent and things like that. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I had nothing and built it absolutely all up from scratch by myself. I had help. I had a lot of help. And I got lucky knowing people. But I would say, bro, again, if you really want something from an experience, there is only one way to get it, bro, and that's on you. Because no one was against me. Australia wasn't against me. My old job, they weren't against me, bro. That's just business. Like there's no subconscious thing that's just against me and trying to ruin my life. Touch wood anyway. But like you control what goes on. It's just you give power to things that make you think you don't. At the end of the day, things happen all the time. You have a bit of bad luck, all these things. Okay. Should it stop you going for what you really want? Should it stop you trying for what you really want? No. No. And sure, maybe if I didn't get offered that job at Cabana, maybe things would have been very different. But at the end of the day, I still went for it. I still spent the entirety of that Tuesday and Monday night looking for jobs, doing anything. I'll literally work anything. I want to stay. I want to experience this. I want to experience what Australia's got to offer. Because Sydney's an awesome place and I knew it. I just knew that some things had to change where I was living. Some of the habits that I had. Bro, I've put on probably 7 or 8 kilograms since leaving the west of Sydney. Like I put on weight. I'm feeling healthier. I'm happier. I smile more. Like you just got to thug these things out, man, and genuinely believe that it will get better. It will work out for you for sure. And there will be people that go traveling and maybe they run out of money or something goes wrong. Do anything you can to just get back and do it. Because I don't want to go home and say I've missed out on this opportunity, bro. So travel is not like it is on people's Instagram. That is the way it is so that you click on the video or the photo or whatever. Travel is a mix of millions of different emotions, things going wrong all the time, things going right, making yourself look like an idiot, making yourself look awesome, just conflicting. But at the end of the day, there's one thing that you'll definitely get from it if you stick it out, and that's growth, bro. And I know. I was speaking to someone the other day and they said that I'm not a different person, but I'm a more mature person now from what I was when I left. And I think, bro, to be honest, that is a massive compliment to me. And I already know my growth, bro. I'm still an idiot. I still make the same mistakes and I'll still say some stupid stuff. But, bro, this experience, I would recommend it to anyone. And I would say, actually, bro, relating to your point that you made earlier, I would say that my mental health has improved 100-fold. I've not felt myself properly have a panic attack in a long while now. And it's all about your environment, the people you surround yourself with, and yeah, and that is it. Your environment is everything. So strongly consider those who you surround yourself with and what you surround yourself with, because I promise you that will change your reaction to things. And I'm grateful to you, bro, because I've probably called you again. I've said this before. I've probably called you the same amount as my mum. You know what I mean? Like bro, you've been there, and that means the world to me. I don't ask for a lot, I don't think, from my friends. But the phone call every now and then would be nice, bro. But you've gone out beyond what you needed to, bro, or what I would have ever asked. Um, and the way that this podcast has even still grown despite us being this far away. All these amazing things, bro. I'm super grateful, man. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. And I wouldn't expect myself to do anything else, bro, because I feel like you deserve that as a friend. And I feel like I've got to share an experience of you being out there by just hearing your stories and what's going on. I've really enjoyed it. As your friend, seeing your development, brother. But it's an interesting point you made. For the hundredth time, I heard Chris Williamson say I saw a clip today, and he was saying like, what if it will work out? Like, what if?
Mm,
Well, why not have that mindset sometimes? Like, what if it will work out? And last week I had a moment where I was meeting Michael, head of football, for a coffee, and I spoke to you before that, and I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to coach next year because a few things were changing. But you were saying, I'm confident that even if you didn't have that next year, there's something for you. And it's having that mindset of like, even if that isn't going to happen, there's still something that'll work out. Fortunately, it worked out because I will be coaching next year, which is really good news. Really good stuff alongside my masters. But why not? Why can't it work out? And I think it's a great thing to say. And I think your experience in Australia shows it can. And talking about Chris Williamson, me and Jamie had booked to go see his live show in Newcastle, and we found out last week that we could actually have the opportunity of meeting him if we pay some more money for the extra VIP tickets. And we thought, why not? It's that one time opportunity to do something like that. And I don't know. I feel like we should take that into our lives sometimes. Of why not take that opportunity? Because I love that episode we did a few weeks ago about minimizing future regret. You'd
yeah.
rather do it than not do it and realize you should have done it.
Mm,
So that
yeah.
thing that is really bugging you, or that thing that really makes sense to do, if you don't do that, you're not gonna be living with yourself. You're not gonna sit with yourself right. So go for those things, and having that mindset of it will work out is such a great thing. Because why shouldn't it, man? Why shouldn't it? Just like what your dad said to you, don't say can't, because you can. And I think it's a great mindset to have.
Yeah. I agree, bro. And you can tell Chris Williamson in person how much you mention him. Um, um, and I'm sure he'll invoice you for how many times you're going to use his copyright or whatever. He's probably got a copy. He should get a copyright on it because he makes some serious dough from Dan. But now, shout out Chris Williamson, mate. If you're listening to this one, obviously I know it's the top list of your priorities on a what, Tuesday night my time, Tuesday morning your time. But I wanted to ask you, bro. What's the kind of the biggest thing you think's happened since we've been away in our friendship? Like, what would you say is the element of our friendship that's grown the most since I've been away?
I think before our friendship was in a great place. I think just from seeing you coming to visit me in Newcastle, there was a lot of love there, a lot of loyalty. I think your trip to Australia kind of cements that even further because of how much we've still like nothing has changed. I don't feel everything's
Mm,
still the same as if you weren't how far you are away, and I think that's a sign of a good friendship. But I also think other moments such as when trying to keep the podcast up the whole time we've been in Australia, and we've had moments where I'm asking for bloody personalised vids, and we're both debating about when to do the podcast and if we're going to be able to get it out this week, and but we've still managed to do it. And I just think the podcast is a great. It's almost like a symbol of how our friendship has remained, even throughout your time in Australia, with the ups and downs in both of our lives. Just like the podcast, our friendship has remained the same. And I don't necessarily think there's been a massive change in our friendship, but I think the development of the fact that it's stayed how it is and been so concreted the way it is, just like the podcast. I think for me, that's been the thing I've took away from it personally.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I feel like all the good things in our friendship have been emphasized, you know, and I think that's what the distance has done for us, bro. Um, I'm so excited to be home, bro. I'm so excited to see you, man, and I can't believe that at this time in 48 hours, I'm going to be in my own bed, probably not being able to sleep, you know, and having to go downstairs and have a Guinness and find a way to get myself to sleep, you know, after all this time away. All I wanted, bro, was a hug from my mum when I was in Byron Bay. That's all I wanted, you know, and I think it'll be so good to get that hug, bro. Um, I've needed it so much, man. I really have needed it, and I can't properly think straight today, so I'm talking like I'm losing my mind. But yeah, just wow, bro, wow,
Yeah, it's going
what
to
an
be
amazing
a great thing. It's been a great thing.
Go on,
It's
Dan,
been
you can do it. We're both losing our mind. It's been a
losing
great
my
thing.
mind now. It's been a great thing, and it's gonna be a great thing. That's the podcast title. No, I'm joking, but um, it's cool. It's cool to see like when things change, like when the same thing happens in a year. Like a year ago, we had that leaving party for you, and like a year later, you're coming back. Like a year ago for me, I had the sports ball, and I was up for that award. I was like a fresh intern. It was my first year. I was nervous, and I didn't really know a lot of the lads I was around at the sports ball, and felt like a bit of an outsider. But this year, I just felt like I was at the sports ball with my mates, and that's cool. That's nice, and I do like these moments. These almost like end of year moments. Like I wonder if anyone's listening right now is having any of those, whether it's uni, whether it's with schools, whether it's with a football season, a sports season. Like end of year moments are such an interesting thing because it's like when I went for that coffee with Michael, it was like I remember going for that coffee a year ago and talking about my first year, and now I'm talking about my second. It just flies by. It's
Mm.
like I actually messaged your mum this week saying, "How are you feeling about Jay coming back?" And like we were just both like agreeing about how crazy, how quick it flies by. Like a year ago, it was that leaving do. Do you know what I mean? A year ago, I finished my first season coaching, and I was talking about the next. And I do find these moments funny because you're like, "Blimey, that's gone quick." But it's great to have these experiences and these moments where you can reflect on a year and something, a journey you're really enjoying. And I look forward to next year when that's the case and another year of stories and experiences have happened. And I just think you want that journey to be something which you really want to be on. You're doing things in your life which really excite you, which you love. Like you say, you've got an environment which you really enjoy being in, people who you really enjoy sharing life with. A year later, we'll reflect on this moment where you were leaving Australia, and I'm sure, like we said, our friendship will stay concrete, and we'll have another story to share. And I just think, like the podcast is all about this journey, brother. It's a fantastic thing, and I've been thinking a lot about how it is rare to be alive. And I know I ended the podcast on that last time, but I'm happy to say it again. It's rare to just be it. So keep doing your thing, keep being yourself, and keep unraveling those layers of yourself and your journey and who you want to be because it's your life. Like we have to go live it. And I know sometimes we forget that because we are naturally living it. But what does living it really mean to you? Are you excited when you wake up in the morning to do what you're doing? Are you excited for something that's happening next week? Are you ambitious about the thing you're doing? And I think as much as it sounds so obvious, not all of us do it. So those things in your life which you cherish, let's keep cherishing them for sure, brother.
Cherish every moment, because because you should be grateful to do it, bro. You should be grateful to have this opportunity to speak to your friends, to love your friends, to love the moment you're in, to enjoy it, to feel the feelings of being where you are. Make the most of everything, man. And I'm gonna say I think I've made a lot of this trip, bro. I've loved it. And I just want to end this with shout out to everyone at Cabana. Used to work there, that does work there now. Shout out to Georgia and Bella. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out Santi, Danny, all my, my main friends and colleagues and everyone. Mitch, I love you. Like I really do love you so much. Like, and Dan, shout out to you. Shout out to my mom. Shout out everyone. Declan, this has been the most amazing year ever. I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to see my little brother. I know he's not little anymore. He's taller than me now, which is it's a bit of a piss take, really, isn't it? I can't wait to see my nieces, my sister, my dad, my mum, my stepdad, my dog, like all my grandma. Like the list just keeps going on, bro. So nothing's lost, bro. Everything's gained. I've got 2 homes now. I'm just traveling to my other home. That's how I view it, bro. So thank you for your support over this period of time. The podcast will continue to go strong. In fact, it will continue to go stronger because I'll be having more sleep. And the time zones won't be so bad. So yeah, thank you for everything. Our next podcast will be recorded in sunny Nottingham. And the boys will be reunited. Dan, when are we going to be reunited, bro?
That's the funny thing. We're not even reunited when you come back.
No.
We're not going to be reunited until like the weekend of the 16th of May, 17th of May.
Yeah. So we've got, we're going to have to wait a good week, good 10 days. So me and Dan have got another 2 weeks pretty much of waiting around. But for you lucky gits that get to see me on Thursday, no, I'm only joking. Not so lucky, maybe. Yeah, bro, I can't wait. I love you, man.
I love you too,
Thank
Brian.
you, everyone.
Thank you for sharing your experiences throughout. Thank you for keeping this podcast going. Thank you for being you, bro, and continuing to be you. And it's been awesome seeing you out there, bro. And I'm sure everyone at home is looking forward to seeing you again. And for the listener, I'm sure they're excited to see how home is for you. And shout out all those people that have seen your story and your times in Australia throughout. If you're listening right now, you can think of those moments we were talking about. Then big up you, because it's crazy that we even have people that listen to this every week. I think it's phenomenal. So really, really thank you. We love you lot. We love you lots and lots and lots. And brother, you fucking smashed it, bro. Safe travels. Let's have it, brother. Well done, man.
Let's go, bro.
And now it's here. Thanks, Sinatra.
The final curtain. I did. No, anyway, only joking. Right. Episode 69. The Australia chapter is over. Dan, I love you so much. See you very soon, brother. Catch you next Tuesday, 10 in the morning, UK time. Or if you're listening from Australia still, 7 p.m. Love you lots. See you next week.
See you, brother. Love you, listener. Take it easy.
Yeah.